Hey everyone. Just wanted to come on here tonight and talk about some things that have been on my mind. I have been going through a lot of deep shadow work lately, and honestly, people talk about awakenings, shadow work, all that, and you really don't know what that means until you actually go there. And unfortunately, as you awaken, you start to feel the trust in the world. You have so much faith that you are doing exactly what sources provided you with, and you're living out your purpose. You start to connect to people. You start to have all kinds of loss and then new gains. And you start to get comfortable again. And you realize that while we're here, familiarity is never a good thing. I mean, yes, it feels good, but the second you get comfortable, that's when you're supposed to level up. And sometimes it creates some discord between people. Sometimes it creates perceptions that don't align. And I was one of those people that I liked what if sci-fi's like my favorite genre, but I liked it because it wasn't real. And now, going through the awakening that I have and the different layers of it and the different phases of it, I've realized just how sci-fi this life is, right? We already know there's a lot of stuff in Hollywood, a lot of predictions like The Simpsons and all that like tell you what life is really about and they predict things. Well, when you're actually experiencing it, it hits a lot differently than watching something, consuming somebody else go through it. And I have to say that in the time period that I have experienced what I have, I think I've had lots of little soft awakenings for many, many years. But when I lost my partner, John, in 2023, it ripped everything open for me in a wild way. He and I had predictions that he was going to die, and that was hard enough. But when it actually happened, when he drowned, saving his son's life, something really changed for me. And I sat with my grief. I sat in a bed for a month. I literally could barely eat, barely do anything. But it was the first time in my life that I wasn't on a computer. I wasn't being productive, because I've been productive my entire life. My nervous system is the kind that it's more anxious than avoidant. And if you don't understand some of that, I suggest you look up nervous system stuff, because the stuff that I'm doing with Love Evolved Music is all about regulating nervous systems and helping people to understand their nervous system, and also how to work with someone who has a different kind of nervous system. But it really tore me apart, and it started me down a whole different journey. And just sitting in my grief and not being productive brought about all kinds of new ideas and thoughts and gifts that I didn't even know were in me. While I was going through pain, there was also excitement about new things and new territories. And I fortunately found different avenues through conscious coaching classes and different spiritual groups that really helped me find myself and not feel alone in what I was going through. But I still had my every moment, day-to-day life, people in my life that were still a part of it, somewhat fading out, but I was trying to balance the two. And then I ended up in a phase where everything felt like love and light, and I had a soul family, and that soul family shifted, changed, and I ran it like a business because that's what I was comfortable with. I also was given guidance that I was supposed to help people from a standpoint that some people awaken and they don't have those tools. They don't have the ability to actually turn it into a profitable business, and I wanted to help people with that. I did not charge for coaching. I did not charge for anything. Instead, I actually paid people as if I had the money to run a business. And now I'm learning that that was also another repeat on my patterns of giving away everything I have because I care about people. And I realized that maybe, just maybe, I had to learn this lesson one last time so that I can actually make money. And it's that we aren't supposed to keep giving everything away to people. As much as we love people, everyone has to go through their own shit. And I have definitely gone through a lot of shit, and I am not discounting anyone else's pain, but I keep learning my lessons, and sometimes they repeat and I have to learn them again in a harder way. So losing my actual family, losing my birth family temporarily even having my kids detached from me, and then finding wonderful people that we connected, and it felt amazing. And even if they were all across the country, it was beautiful. But in that, sometimes I got lost. Sometimes I got lost in the fantasy that this was just going to all come together. And you see all these awakening videos popping up all over the feeds these days. And it's like, ooh, manifest this, manifest that. Just say it, just think it. And I think that there's a disservice that's happening with people that are preaching that everything's going to be just fine. Because even manifestation, it takes effort. It takes layers. You can't manifest against people. There's free will. And we want magic to happen, but if we're collaborating with people and we don't actually align and hear each other out, and I mean, I'm putting this on myself for not always hearing out other people that I was collaborating with because I had such a big vision, but we miss each other. We miss the point, and sometimes we can counter manifest against each other. I'm sorry, I'm still a little emotional tonight because I just keep feeling all these waves and I'm trying to get through them. I've gone through a lot of shit, but the grief I'm having recently from forming Soul Family, from connecting to people, to seeing so many potential pathways to success, to helping people in the world, to feeling the abundance and living life, it's really done a toll on me. And I've realized that sometimes I've been put through tests, and I've been with groups that have been put through tests, and my experience of those, at least this version of me, doesn't experience the same thing as other people. And I've accepted things where I've had guidance to say, are you ready to be the villain in everyone's story? Because sometimes you have to be the villain in order to release what's not going with you to the next chapter. That doesn't mean I'm going further or better or different than anyone else, but I'm the type of person who wants to hold on to everybody. I want everyone to come in and be on stage at the same time. I want everybody to be a part of this. I want everyone to collaborate and let's just live life in some beautiful way. And in doing that, sometimes I didn't see what other people needed, and I'm trying to really work on that. But what I'm facing now is that there comes a time through these awakenings that it's not all sunshine, light, and rainbows, and there's a point you get to where you just want to give up over and over and over again, especially when you're misunderstood, especially when your account of something doesn't add up to the same thing that someone else's did. When you get messages from people saying that they won't tell you exactly what you did, but they can't go with you, or good luck, love you, bye. It's painful. It really is. And most people don't really dig in and talk about that. But I think I've had more inspiration from the loss that I've continued to have, even after having Soul Family and knowing there are other people that are right there with me. They awakened and they know the things I know and we connect in. But going through it and then losing those people have really changed my perspective on what I thought I was doing here. There's also a thing about the whole body, mind, spirit combo. And for the last couple of years, I was definitely in a mind and spirit mode. And I feel like now I realize I was out of body, right? Like, and when I say that I was out of body, I don't mean I'm floating off anywhere or anything weird or out there, but I stopped taking care of myself. I stopped taking showers as often. I stopped working out. I stopped walking. I stopped connecting to my physical being. And the last couple of weeks, I have been walking 3 times a day, lifting weights, working on things, and eating healthier and doing all these things that, while I was working with higher frequencies, sometimes I needed some kid food. Sometimes I needed junk food. And I also felt guilty about that. But like when you're in different ranges of what you're doing, these rules that you see people, they're like, oh, I've gone vegan. I'm totally off alcohol. I don't touch anything. I'm perfect, is what it feels like. It actually pushes people away from spirituality, right? I have to say that in loss, we learn the most. And if we go through different cycles of loss, then we learn a whole different layer. Being able to keep going when you've had as much loss as I've had is damn near impossible, but it is exactly what I need. And I know it's for my highest good. I just want anyone who is listening to this tonight to know that you're not alone. And I'm not going to pretend and sugarcoat that everything just gets better once you awaken, because yes, the early awakening stages, they're fun. There's puzzle pieces, there's breadcrumbs, all that. And then you start running out of money And then these ideas about how beautiful it's going to be and how it's all going to come together and you're going to manifest greatness, they don't work out the way you think they are. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to work out in your favor. And sometimes people are removed from your life. And if you're the type of person that holds on to them, then narratives are spun up. Basically, something that makes you absolutely not want to talk to that person again. You hear different rumors, you experience different things from that person. You're suddenly blocked. It feels like you're ghosted. I've definitely gone through a lot of that where I was like, what happened? I was just talking to this person. All good. But what I think that spirit does is protect us and make sure that we are moving forward in our own path and letting us know we're not alone, because new people will be brought into your life. But you have to get used to not getting too comfortable with what becomes familiar, even if that is what feels like the most ideal scenario of a person and a group of people that could be your lifelong soul partners. And you would love to just grow old with all of them. You would love to work with them and run a company with them and go on island excursions. You have to release everything. And the last week or so, I've been doing that, like releasing every expectation I've ever had. And maintaining faith in that situation where you don't know what the hell is going to happen next is really hard. So if you are going through it all and you feel like you're going to give up, or you need to give up, or you can't do this anymore, and then you wake up the next morning and you're like, oh, well, I'm still here. What am I going to do? Just know that that's normal. And people have a time and place in your life. Some people come in for many years. Some people you meet one time and it's a cool connection and then it goes away. Other people work with you for a year. Other people may be somebody you see once every 6 months or talk to every once in a while, but they all have a purpose. And it's to reflect something back to you and also let you know you're not alone. Sometimes it challenges you. Sometimes it supports where you're at. But what I've learned is to try to really stop asking how, and know that how means now. Try to stay in the present moment as much as possible, because some moments can feel like you were literally trapped in hell. And some moments feel like you're just like on track for the next biggest thing and then it crashes. Or something unexpected happens when you're down and out and it's a blessing, right? And the only way that we can function through all these crazy changes in this world is to recognize that we are loved. We are not alone. And every person that you encounter plays exactly the purposeful role that they are meant to. And you cannot doubt that. You can't try to extend it in your head. You might have to grieve things. And sometimes you might have to let go of people that you are like, I know this person's not supposed to be in my life right now, and I'm holding on to them, right? So it's really important that you stay in touch with yourself and really trust your instincts, but don't act hastily. That is one thing I've had to learn. Sometimes I react to my emotions way too quickly. Don't react immediately. Feel those feelings, sit with them, take the time, and just realize that you are exactly where you need to be. As much as it feels scary, as much as it feels like nothing you would have chosen consciously, right? There is absolutely a purpose for everything that happens. And I just want you guys to know that when I say I'm here for you, I really am. And I always will be. Even if it's just from a distance, even if it's just here that I'm thinking and praying for or reaching out to mentally tap into somebody that I can't talk to in person. I'm here. And I hope that you guys all understand that this is a rocky ride. But I do believe that the more you trust in it and just go ahead and accept your shitty feelings. I mean, sometimes we feel like shit. And sometimes people think that we say things and do things that we didn't do. And that's okay. Let them. Let them. But just know that you are absolutely loved. And for every shitty situation that comes about, there's something beautiful on the other side. For every day that feels like crap, wake up. There's a tomorrow and another tomorrow. And you might go on a roller coaster ride. But don't give up on yourself, because you're doing the work. You're exactly where you meant to be. And I just want you to know that you are seen and appreciated.